With the power of might, we must fight till we die, protecting the man with the stones in his hand. The power of stones is the one chance to win. If they get them, then all will be lost.
I was breaking the rule, acting like a fool, getting close to you. Crawling back for my life, leaving to my love. I've been lost in my desire. I was drinking, wasn't thinking, and I'm sorry if it makes you cry. I was breaking the rule, acting like a fool, getting close to you. I was a chancer, fake romancer, but now I'm home where my heart is true, where my heart is true.
A perfect silence to end the war. Ocean agap, oh bottomless abyss. It's the ultimate nothingness where death is bliss. Warrior,
10th century.
10th century, yeah. 6 years after this is the baptism of Poland. So they've essentially managed to settle here even before Poland has become a Christian nation. So they may have for 6 years at least witnessed Slavic paganism of Poland.
Wow.
Jewish people are very good at documenting lost things. And there is a talk that when Poland has started losing its identity in the 18th century, it was the Jews who archived a lot of the Polish culture from the time of the first state. From the first state.
So this land was pretty much taken from them.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jews never claimed that this land belonged to them.
Oh, really?
I mean, after all, they are the people that were exiled from modern day Israel. And essentially, the entire for like 1,000 years, they have lived all over Europe. And eventually in the Western Europe they have been exiled again. And this is when they settled here.
In Warsaw.
Not just in Warsaw, but entirely.
Every part of, every mile of Poland.
That is, this is a map of the Polish
old landmass.
Polish cities during its formation. So this is the year of when we had this.
Middle Ages.
Yeah, Middle Ages, 12th century, but essentially this is also when in Poland we had this sort of thing where one of Polish rulers, not kings, this has to be said, had 3, 4, maybe 5 sons, if I remember correctly. And he, during his life, had a huge conflict with his own brother, and eventually ended up accidentally killing him. So he wrote up a
Tragic.
pact according to which all of his sons would inherit a piece of the land, and then this land would crackle in it. They would be switching who rules over it. The oldest son always rules over it, and if the oldest son dies, then the next one, and the next one.
Of course. That's how it always works.
Yeah,
King dies, then the son becomes king.
He tried to make it work, but eventually the entire state has separated into local duchies. We call this a separation into districts. And for a very long time, there was no de facto ruler of Poland, de facto no king. this, I think it is a documentation of Jewish travelers. At the time, I believe they have all been coming from Spain, from Spain here.
Right there.
Yeah, because that's where around that time there was still an Arabic state in
Arab.
Spain. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Cordoba Caliphate.
I didn't even know that they were an Arabic state at one point.
At some point, the Arabic people have conquered Spain and made quite a pretty state in there. All until they have been driven out by what would later become the first Spanish dynasty. If you ever heard of something called Reconquista, it's essentially what the Spanish refer to the period in which they retook the entirety of Spain from Muslims. And once they did, they have not only driven out Muslims, committing several war crimes, but also Jews. And Jews started emigrating east until they eventually landed in Poland, shortly after the end of the district separation.
Prejudice towards both Muslims and Jews.
Unfortunately, those who have settled in the former Caliphate of Cordoba didn't see any difference between Jews and the Arabic people.
Good. Imagine.
So essentially, they've, as a fanatically Catholic nation, because let's remember that's the Spanish Empire at the time is almost fanatically Catholic. They some sort of they felt like they were doing another crusade, and essentially they treated exiling both the Muslims and the Jews as a part of that crusade.
My God. Now imagine if events like that took place today.
You have to, and another thing you have to know is that they didn't technically have to exile them. They could have murdered them all, and they have murdered a lot of them. There are still places in Spain where you have memorials to massacres committed during the reign of the first Castilian dynasty.
I wouldn't doubt you on that.
I haven't seen many. Okay, and Poland during its history had three capitals. The first, Krakow. Now we have Warsaw, and the first capital of Poland was called Gniezno. Gniezno was capital before the baptism of Poland, as well as later, as well as shortly later. And this is a replica of door that is to the cathedral, because there is also where the oldest cathedral in Poland is. And what you see on those whole sculptures within these doors, it all details the life of Saint Adalbert, who is believed to be the one who built the cathedral in Gniezno. Essentially, he has been exiled by the German emperor to Poland, where he was Christianizing us, and he was trying to do the same to Prussians, to the pagan Prussians.
Baptized.
But unfortunately, he stepped into their holy forest and has been murdered and hacked to pieces by them, which they later sold to the Polish ruler. And the arm of Saint Adalbert has been placed in the Cathedral of Gniezno as a sort of reliquary.
Basically severing his body parts.
Yeah, they hacked it into pieces.
My God. Barbaric.
But from what I heard, they did it post-mortem, so at least they haven't tortured him. But he's still considered a martyr in Christian faith. See? This is where the Polish state has been born. This is Greater Poland.
Oh, right there.
Yes. Mazovia was actually for a very long time not even a part of Poland.
a while ago.
But this is from 13th century, so okay.
Never would have heard of the story quite like that unfold.
Part of our national identity. We have it drilled into our heads.
Yeah.
History teachers are quite specific. One thing you also have to know is that there is a difference in Polish history when it comes to a ruler and a king. In the beginning, the first technical ruler of Poland, the first historically documented ruler of Poland, who is Mieszko I, he has never been given a crown.
Really?
He was always considered a ruler, or as they called him back then, he was the Duke of the Poles, of the Polish tribe. It was before the baptism of Poland. And then his son, Bolesław I, who has managed to secure the arm of Saint Adalbert, was eventually crowned as the first Polish king.
So even though he was a ruler, he didn't have his crown.
He didn't have a crown, aka he wasn't recognized
As a king.
by the Catholic state, by the Catholic states in the West. Yes. We're talking deep medieval times here. So approval of the Vatican was measured in gold
That's actually
at that time.
intriguing. That a ruler would never be given his crown.
Well, he was a ruler to his people, but he wasn't recognized internationally. That was also why Mieszko
Yeah.
has accepted the Christian baptism.
Warsaw.
Yeah, Warsaw.
Warsaw. This is what it used to look like.
Yeah, it was a much smaller
My
much
goodness.
smaller town. You remember when we went, see those walls?
Oh yeah, those were.
We went by these walls when we were going to the.
They're brick walled now, right?
Yeah, there were brick walls. I mean,
Yeah.
this is just a depiction. Most likely in history, they have to actually.
That is all sorts of insane.
Oh, and here is Krakow,
Krakow.
and one of the largest Jewish communities in Poland. Because essentially this part right here, this has been all Christian Krakow, and this is
All
currently district of Krakow named Kazimir, which was the Jewish district. And to this day, there are a lot of traces still left of the Jewish people in the Kazimir district.
And there's bridges between them?
There is, of course.
Wow.
You know, there's never been a practice of religious segregation in Poland. Actually,
Good.
Poland was quite progressive when it came to religious tolerance.
Never,
While there were religious wars in the West against the Protestants, in Poland we have signed what is known as Warsaw Confederacy Act,
Good.
which was essentially an act of religious tolerance.
So they never were at war with each other.
Yeah, during the Polish Golden Age, you practically had Catholics, Orthodox, Protestants, Jews, Muslims, Armenians, Muslims and Armenians coexisting, and everyone was treated equally in the face of the law.
Ahead of their time.
Oh, very much so. A very different state from the rest of Europe. This entire thing documents the history of rights and privileges that have been given to the Jewish communities in Poland in medieval times. Like I said, the district separation was a difficult time, so depending on the region whether they were in Krakow, whether they were in
They were a light in the
Greater
dark
Poland,
times.
or Greater Poland. Not exactly dark times, but it's just really confusing.
Dark ages.
Time of huge confusion. actually a documentation of a 15th century Polish king, Casimir the Great, which is the only Polish king who has such a nickname as the Great. He's called the Great for a reason. He has replaced most of wooden structures in Poland with brick ones. Built a lot of castles. Mostly was focused on internal politics because he couldn't afford to wage wars. Yeah.
So just the
His only real problem is that he lost the Silesian lands. And once they were lost, they only returned to us post.
verbal politics.
That too. A huge phenomenon about him was that his wife was actually Jewish. It is also during Casimir the Great's rule when the settlement of Jews in Poland has been solidified. And ever since then, there has not been a single instance where Jews have been exiled. Anyone could exile Jews from Poland. Not until World War II.
Yeah, not until the modern age. Modern age here.
One more thing about Casimir the Great. Unfortunately, he was the last, the last king from the Piast dynasty put on the Polish throne. Once he has died, he had a lot of daughters, but not a single son. So there was nobody who could inherit his rule. So he has given the rule to a Hungarian relative of his, Ludwig.
So a Hungarian would.
Yeah, we
reign.
had a Hungarian king on our throne for a short time, and that is also when one of his daughters has inherited Poland afterwards, named Hedwig, or Jadwiga as we call her.
So
And Jadwiga, when she was crowned, she was not given the title of Queen of Poland, King of Poland.
what?
Yes, he was Jadwiga, King of Poland, not Queen. Because Queen was
Woman
not
king.
the same, well, didn't mean the same in Polish history as it did for King. And once she was on the throne, she and the whole Polish state started their diplomatic relations with Lithuanians to the east. That is also when the Polish-Lithuanian sentiment has been born. Eventually, it led to a marriage between her and a duke of the Lithuanians named Władysław Jagiełło. And once they have married, it began a rule of a Jagiellonian dynasty in Poland, who have been of Lithuanian descent, recently have been baptized to be Christians.
Recently?
Yeah, because essentially Poland has been credited for baptizing Lithuanians who up until that point were pagans. They've also baptized them to protect them from the Teutonic Order, who have been attempting to create their own state at the Baltic Sea and were setting their sights on Lithuanian lands to both pillage, to conquer, and to destroy the pagans.
Isn't that
As they
where
claim.
Prussia comes in?
Russia is just a land by that point.
Yeah.
And the Teutonic Order has kind of settled in many areas. See, red area. That is the Teutonic Order state.
To this day is still.
Well, there isn't. Let's say there is a couple of areas that does not belong to Poland. Most of the stuff is Polish nowadays. And this is the Crown Duchy of Lithuania at the time, this is the year 1507. So it is before the creation of Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was made, I believe, in 1566. But this area also belongs today to Poland, and during the rule of Casimir the Great it has been lost. That is the only disadvantage of Casimir's rule in Poland.
But that belongs to Czech Republic now, right? Or Czech Republic, Germany.
This has gone to Kingdom of Bohemia, who have been very highly influenced by Germany at that point. But they technically were a separate state, just ruled by a German dynasty, if I remember correctly. Essentially, by the end of the 15th century, there has been Jews have made up at least 1% of the Polish population. That is quite a lot. Royal towns led by the towns owned by the Polish crown.
Shit.
Green ones are led by nobles. Polish nobility has built
W Małopolsce 14.
that are marked red, green.
Na Rusi Czerwonej 20.
Church.
Towns with a black cross belong to the church, so it is just
Mieszkało
one
w nich w sumie
It's a lot of.
1000 Żydów.
It's very small amount of X's.
Populacji kraju.
Yeah.
W XV wieku
I mean, that is
dzietne osady żydowskie
somewhat
liczyły
elite.
jedną,
We're
dwie
talking
rodziny.
16th century
Oh, for
Poland
sure.
here, so it is no longer dominated by the
Barbaric.
church, but
Zamieszkiwały
there is
grupy
still a
liczące
influence of the
500 do 800 mieszkańców.
Just.
Podstawą dla oszacowania liczby
Well,
Żydów
they were prejudiced at the time.
w schyłku średniowiecza jest taksa z 1507 roku, opisująca gminy żydowskie, które opłaciły podatek na
On those inscriptions you can see that one over there. That is definitely a king from Jagiellonian dynasty. I believe that is Kazimierz Jagiellonian. He has been he is credited for ultimately destroying the Teutonic Order in Poland. He led the 13-year war, during which the 13-year war.
Oh.
13-year war during which we have finally managed to break down the defenses of the Teutonic Order and incorporate their lands into ours. Which is why it is marked a different color. It is the former area of the Teutonic state. However, this has not been directly incorporated into the Polish lands. It has been made dependent on us. That's Alexander Jagiellonian. He's not known for much except for giving the last privilege to the nobility, and that privilege will eventually become the downfall. Oh, I know this logo. This logo is actually of the town of Stryków. At least it looks like it.
I'm enjoying this so far.
And this one, I believe, this is the second, one of the few last kings from the Jagiellonian dynasty. This is Sigismund I, also known as the Elder, because there has been a moment in Poland during the time of both Sigismund the Elder and Sigismund II. It is considered the Polish Golden Age. These two are considered one of the greatest rulers of Poland ever.
Golden Age, huh?
Golden Age, yeah, that's what we call it. Golden Age.
So not the
And,
Renaissance.
no, it took place during the Renaissance.
All right.
And Sigismund the Elder was also married to a woman from the house of Sforza from Italy. You know, the family of Sforza, the ones who have took over Milan and were essentially. You may remember Caterina Sforza from the Assassin's Creed games.
Oh yeah,
She was a character.
I believe so.
But Sigismund's wife was Bona of the house of Sforza. Now we're on the third gallery, and I believe that is where we're moving into the time of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. And
All right, let's.
this is a photograph of the Warsaw Confederacy Pact. This is what essentially sanctioned religious freedom in Poland during the.
Right here.
Yes. You have the full description here. I believe it is not open to the public because nobody wants the ink to dry out. precious documents like this are stored in black boxes and in a sort of vacuum so that they do not deteriorate.
Had long been protected by their
Yep.
own privileges.
1573, it's when we sanctioned this pact. It has also been, essentially, we have drafted this pact to protect Polish people from religious persecution. Because by that time we have already started considering both people of Polish ethnicity as well as Jews, Muslims, and other
Orthodox.
beliefs. Yeah, generally people of other beliefs were also Polish citizens. It is the 16th century when we have finally come to terms with calling them that.
Made peace.
Make peace with that, yeah. But like I said, there never has been. No, there was in the 17th century. But until the 16th century, Poland was one of the most tolerant states in Europe. I believe this is a dance of death.
Dance with the death. Whipping dance of the death. Black New Sea.
Essentially a painting created to show equality between people. The type priests in Poland, you could find them. You could easily find them. Actually important village priests. Ones that up until now only existed in Robin Hood.
Look at all that.
That's smart.
Muscovia.
What do you see?
Turkey. This is... Look at all this.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever tried reading Hebrew alphabet? If I remember correctly, nearly every letter in the Hebrew alphabet is also a number.
Really?
Yeah. Jews were a very
Numbers were included in alphabet.
Jews were a very mathematic nation. They were a nation of traders, of bankers, and also loan sharks at some point even. But all you need to do is say that what they're doing in Palestine is wrong, and they're going to call you anti-Semitic.
I mean,
We're talking about modern. You can see what was once
Prussia.
Prussia, and later it turned into the state of the Teutonic Order. That is why we associate Prussians with the German language. It is not known what language the pagan Prussians spoke.
basically Slavic Germans.
Not exactly. Not exactly. That's not what I mean.
From what shot that'll do.
This, I believe, is a belt used in a nobleman's outfit. At least a picture of it. And this here, this is a decorative carpet. So the Jews were present at when the Act of Lublin Union has been signed. The Act of Lublin's Union created the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. This entire decorative carpet is a commemoration of it. Here you have the
Coat of arms.
Polish coat of arms, and this is the Lithuanian one. This angel right here is a later would become the coat of arms of Ukraine. And there were talks about creating a Polish-Lithuanian-Ukrainian Commonwealth, but it has never come to pass.
100 years and nothing since.
Because of the Russian manipulation of Cossacks and the stubbornness of Polish nobility. unfortunately, we didn't handle the problem with Cossacks very well. Cossacks have been dwelling around here, and initially they were used by the Polish army as pirates, as buccaneers, sent to the Ottoman Empire to disrupt their trade routes.
Committing
But
heist.
eventually the Cossacks have rebelled because they were not being recognized as citizens of the Polish state. And that led to numerous Cossack uprisings, which eventually greatly disrupted us as a nation.
Ukraine. Holy shit.
So this particular site is dedicated to the city of Zamość, which was built and later governed by one of the most prominent Polish magnates, John Zamoyski. You can see his very sketch of him right here, to your right. Zamoyski was eventually became the High Castellan of Poland and has been put in charge of the Royal Army of Poland.
Okay.
But his biggest accomplishment is building the city of Zamość, which stands still to this day and is considered a symbol of magnate ingenuity in Poland.
Hebrewism.
Let's also say that Zamoyski has been a very educated and progressive man and has also been giving privileges to Jews at the time. Is that a puzzle?
At the time. Huh.
At the time, let's not forget that we are still talking about a state that's it's not very modern.
Not sure if this is a puzzle or
I think it is a puzzle. I've seen these types of puzzles in video games. Religious texts to national languages. So for example, 16th century is when the Bible was first translated to German by Martin Luther King. Not Martin Luther King, Martin Luther, the actual Martin Luther.
Oh, the actual OG.
The OG one, yes.
So,
Not the black man.
this is where Latin language was dismantled for
Latin
Hebrew?
language has lost most of its meaning in the 16th century, but it was still prevalent. People still used it and still learned it, even though it was technically a dead language.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so here you have the leader of the biggest Cossack uprising, Mr. Bogdan Khmelnytsky, who is now one of the national heroes of Ukraine.
I was actually just reading about that on the plaques.
You were reading about it? Oh, right.
How they fled
And
Ukraine and went to
this is the
Venice.
Crimean Khan, because keep in mind that on the modern Crimea, the Ottoman Empire has set up a puppet state, which was inhabited by by descendants of Mongolian settlers in Poland. We call them Tatars, and I have a Tatar roots actually.
Oh, really?
I've been digging into my
Asian link.
a sort of a partial Asian link. Yeah. We have a documentation of Tatars. For a very long time, Tatars were considered one of the worst enemies of Poland because they were not only a threat to the Polish people but also to the Cossacks. And this, this is a very controversial figure. This is
Let me hear it.
Jeremy Wiśniowiecki, who during the Cossack uprising essentially adopted a policy of destroy them all. He has never wanted to negotiate with the Cossacks. He has been impaling their messengers. Generally a very controversial figure because even though he did have military success to back up his decisions, he was also quite cruel. Some people call him the Polish equivalent of Vlad the Impaler because of how many people
I was
he
about
had.
to say.
At the time, impaling people was one of the most cruel method of execution. I believe that
Look at
he was
that.
one of the people who impaled the most.
Speaking of execution,
What you see here, I believe that is it is a battle of Warsaw in the 17th century.
1648,
1656.
where the siege of Prague happened. When the siege of Prague happened.
I don't remember that. I don't remember
Well,
the siege of Prague, but
that
I
was
do know that John Casimir, who was, I believe, the last Swedish king of Poland, because after the Jagiellonian dynasty died out, it began a period of elected kings in Poland. The nobility got so privileged that they got the right to elect kings in Poland.
no longer was it blood oriented.
It wasn't
Cycle
by
through blood.
the right of succession. So you didn't have the son of a Jagiellonian king anymore, but instead an elected king. And 3 times we've elected a king from Sweden, from the House of Vasa. First it was Sigismund III, then Władysław IV, and then it was John Casimir.
Sweet.
John Casimir, I believe, was the last, and he has actually
I was actually, by the way, referring to the time the 30-year war ended in
30-year war. I didn't
1648. Czech Republic.
I have to say that the 30-year war is one that I have very little information on.
Yeah.
But also, you can see over here, I believe that is... No, it's not John III. It is actually the Castellan of Poland, Mr. Stanisław Żółkiewski, who has been a very important military commander in Poland. He died during the Battle of Cezora against the Ottoman Empire, and the Ottomans during the Battle of Cezora have not taken a single prisoner of war. They have killed everyone.
Really?
It is one of the few documented battles.
Taking no prisoners.
Yeah.
Take no prisoners, comrades.
No, absolutely not. Here's where Sobieski's politics start. Because I also have to mention the Swedish kings that we had on our throne have kind of ruined our relations with the Jews because of their fanatical Catholicism, especially Sigismund I. You remember what I told you at the royal castle when I said that Sigismund I not only was a fanatical Catholic, but he was also believed in superstitions. When he almost burned down the royal castle in Krakow, and they were forced to switch capitals from Krakow to Warsaw.
So superstitions
He was
basically
very
turned
superstitious, and he was also anti-Semitic.
an egomaniac.
And he was also known to be anti-Semitic. Essentially,
A psycho.
he and his successors were from the line of the House of Vasa that never accepted Luther, that never accepted Protestant religion, because by that time Sweden was Lutheran. They have adopted Protestant. They have become a Protestant nation, and they would absolutely not allow a Catholic king to sit up on their throne.
Huh.
Sigismund III was obsessed with reclaiming reclaiming the Swedish throne. He practically only accepted this Polish crown so that he has some place to launch the invasion of Sweden from.
So they were that hardlined, huh?
He was really hardline. Like he was one of the most
My
stubborn
gosh.
kings of Poland. And when his son has been, at the time of Sigismund III, when he ruled, there was also the time when we have actually managed to take Moscow.
Wasn't that during the Saxon time?
No, Saxon time was downfall of Poland.
Oh, okay.
It was a downfall.
Oh,
of
right.
Poland. And when we were...
Sweden was not having any relations with that.
No, Saxon kings are 18th century.
Yeah.
18th century. As for the Swedish kings, they were 17th. And when we had Swedish people on the throne, we have actually managed to take Moscow and almost took over the whole Russia. Because with Moscow taken,
God forbid.
with Moscow taken, Sigismund III has been given an offer. His son could become the Tsar of Russia on the condition that he converts to Orthodox Christianity. Sigismund declined. Didn't allow Władysław to become the king, to become the Tsar of Russia, and he never became a Tsar of Russia. Instead, just inherited the Polish throne from Sigismund III, and was a mediocre king at best.
So the traditional way of seizing the throne.
Oh yeah.
It's what they turn
What you
to.
see here are most likely depictions of everyday life in Poland at that time. Jews were mostly the ones in charge of taverns, they ran banks, traded a lot. It is also the Jews that came up with what we currently see on bank offers. They were the first ones who have...
This is what Warsaw used to look like.
I don't think it is Warsaw. I think it relates to all of Poland.
Makes sense.
Do not forget that this museum is not dedicated just to the Jews that were in Warsaw. It is dedicated to all of the Jews on the Polish lands. See that there is some... Some of those flags are definitely related to the House of Radziwiłł, but I do not like the House of Radziwiłł, to be honest. They are mostly Lithuanian heroes, but they were the noble house in Lithuania who were actually very against the Union of Poland.
Ugh.
Which is why I didn't like it.
Deunification.
Leaving the Polish-Lithuanian Brotherhood, essentially the House of Radziwiłł were against.
Deunification, pretty much.
I know that the Radziwiłł family definitely have sabotaged the Polish defenses during the Swedish deluge. It has been where he took a scene from the Polish movie about the Swedish deluge,
Yeah.
and he took a sword fight scene and claimed that it is the most realistic sword fight in movie history. But you know why?
Why is that?
Because all the actors actually took fencing and horse riding.
And actually took lessons for it.
Yeah, for a very long time, Polish actors were expected to be
The way you described it,
were expected to be skilled in many fields.
well, the way you described it kind of makes it inviting to watch it now.
I
When
would,
I get
I would
home.
highly recommend. Just try to find English captions for it because they speak Old Polish in those movies, and that is one problem.
Old Polish.
Old Polish, yeah, and it is kind of a problem. But if you do have Netflix, if you want a funny introduction to the mentality of Polish nobility, I would highly recommend that you watch 1670.
Oh, 1670.
Yeah, that's the name of a show on Netflix, a Polish show on Netflix that is being dubbed one of the best comedy shows of the last few years. Definitely one of the best shows of 2023, in my opinion.
I gotta go. 2020.
Eight episodes, and they are mostly a compilation of sketches that is a combination of The Office and Monty Python.
Are they speaking in like
They speak Polish, but you can turn on English captions.
like dismantled Old Polish or
No,
something?
no, no. 1617 is satire. Satire, and one of the running jokes is that they speak modern Polish in a 17th century setting.
So they still speak
It's one of
it.
the running jokes of that show. Partition chamber. Dedicated to how Poland was being dismantled by the three partitioners. transitioning to the time when Poland was no more, and the matter of Jewish rights has become something up to the partitioners. And knowing Prussians, for example, I felt that they would be very open to rights for Jews.
$123. So the 123-year period.
Could say that Polandless period. That's what I would call it.
Dark age for you guys. There was no Poland.
There was no Polish state, but there was a Polish nation still.
Polish.
Okay, photo. The free partitioners did not respect the civil rights of Jews. I think that is also, there is a really good testament to how much the partitioners were disrespected the Jews. I believe I told you about how the Russian secret police has drafted a document that was supposed to be a confession from Jews that they are here to take over the world.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I think I told you. This was entirely a provocation set up by the Russian secret police, but it was to disrupt the relations between any nation and Jews, and it also painted Jews in the worst possible light. To this day, there are unfortunately people who unironically believe in that Russian provocation, and to which I say, where the fuck is your brain?
Where probably sludge mixed with their verbal diarrhea.
Wszyscy studenci byli biedni i utrzymywali się z darowizn zbieranych w licznych społecznościach żydowskich. Dzięki temu nie musieli się
I can pinpoint what this is. I believe this is just a...
What era is this? Look at that.
Even if someone bore the last name Hitler, that doesn't mean that they're the same as Adolf.
They're not in the same DNA, no.
No, they're not. I recognize some of those people. These are actually like...
That's fucked.
We're talking about industrial revolution in the Kingdom of Poland at this point. A lot of rail stations have been funded at the time, and these are all the founders, the sponsors, should I say. Some of them were even... Some of them even founded the railway there. I see we have our own tiny little rail, but we still had...
Just barely.
But we still managed to get gas lights in our town before Warsaw. I'm just, joking.
Of course. We don't take anything
most people in Poland are equal.
As they should be.
Yeah, I'm just joking around this.
There's no use in...
I've been studying history so long that I can afford to make jokes.
Of course.
Or just make, pranks.
There's no reason to barrage each other with hate.
All you need to, the bigger challenge is taking said joke. Something that Atticus is incapable of. Takes from my city. Documentation on Mr. Israel Poznański. Poznański was aiming to build a family that would be Poland's response to the Rothschild family. Apparently, that's what I read in a history book. Oh, this
Wherever you.
It's a synagogue.
What's that again?
Synagogue is
Synagogue.
it's a Jewish church, essentially.
Yeah.
But keep in mind that the Jews do not refer to their synagogues as churches or temples. They only had one temple. The temple was in Jerusalem. It is no more. Synagogues are more like places of pray for them, where they pray. That's all they use synagogues for.
5614.
This is not the biggest. Across the world. This is the
From
exodus
Poland.
of Jews from Poland. 70,000.
Palestine,
Israel, yeah. 43,000 to South Africa. Argentina and the rest of South America, 127,000.
To East Coast.
With the biggest amount going to United States, 2,040,000.
100,000 for Canada.
Yeah.
And there's my city listed. Boston.
I think the biggest Jewish diaspora is still in
Boston. Whoa.
I think this is the February Revolution in Russia. These are murders of Jews, essentially. There have been massacres of Jews around that time. Keep in mind that it has only been recently that people realize that the protocols of the Elders of Zion are a fucking Russian provocation and not an actual document created by Jews.
Holy shit.
It's all false flag.
Belarus.
I believe this is the area of the This is the area of the Polish autonomy within the Russian Empire. I say autonomy, but I say that very loosely. And
There it
here
is.
is the gallery dedicated to the Polish and Jewish history.
And this is World War One.
Between World War I and World War II, essentially what the situation between Polish and Jewish people looked like between the two world wars.
The Declaration of the Restoring of Independence. Right here. What? Wait, what's upstairs?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Are we even allowed to go up there?
What?
Are we even allowed to go upstairs?
Seems like it. Place to the right. Is there a map somewhere?
Whoa. Illuminated city streets.
Yeah.
Haven't been on.
There is an installation. My city includes
Every
Warsaw too.
Warsaw. Let's see, where's Krakow? There it is.
Yeah, here.
Everything.
Lviv as well. Wasn't one Szczecin? No. One Szczecin.
Można śmiało powiedzieć, że nie było w czasie wojny innych zjawisk, które nie znalazło odzwierciedlenia w materiałach połączonych. Taka dziedzina jak szmuga reprezentowana jest przez pracę tytelmaną. Praca o szmugu nie ujmuje tego zjawiska z punktu widzenia gospodarczej oceny. Opisuje raczej żarty, ich obyczaje. Do prac o literacie należy rozprawka na temat poczty żydowskiej. Jednym z listonoszy był dziennikarz żydowski Perek Opoczyński. Z dziedziny pomocy społecznej warto wspomnieć pracę pisarki Racheli Auer o kuchni nowej leszną świadomości. Opisuje założenia kuchni, charakteryzuje jej społeczność. Należy wymienić rozprawę kolegi Żydowskiego o handlu walutą. Opisuje on nie tylko aspekt gospodarczy, lecz również obyczajowy. Bardzo cenna jest tabela Wachenhausu, prowadzona dzień po dniu w ciągu prawie całego okresu roku. Cenną pozycję stanowiły dzienniki. Jedni pisali w nich obszernie i szczegółowo, inni zajmowali się krótkimi wersjami. Dziennik pisarza i nauczyciela kapłana, pisany przez Szczepańskimi, czyli tysiące składów zawierał wiadomości o codziennych wydarzeniach.
Rzeczywistość getta przerasta nasze wyobrażenia, a jednak chcemy żyć jak ludzie wolni. Chcemy żyć i tworzyć. Abraham. Życie w getcie nagle zamiera. Znika tłum, ulice pustoszeją. Łapanka. Oddziały służby porządkowej zatrzymują mężczyzn. Sprawdzają ich dowody pracy. Niezatrudniony, nie mający właściwej adnotacji w Arbeitskarcie o pracy, zostają odprowadzeni na
I like that depiction. Oh, hell yeah. It's like art.
There have been provisional incendiary grenades created by the Polish armed forces during the. We are in the chamber dedicated to the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising of 1943. That was the first uprising that has preceded the Warsaw Uprising. Of course, it also failed miserably. It was just like an armed revolt of the Jewish people locked in the ghetto. So you had very sickly people against hundreds and hundreds of Germans.
So much of the population denuded right after it.
And these are the fuses for such, for Molotov cocktails. You can get, I guess you could call them Molotov cocktails, but this name is bad. We cannot call them. Because Molotov had nothing to do with creating these. And also we do not want to give him any credit. You know why?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, because Molotov was somebody. Here you are. Jewish fighting organization. These people were also very important in the context of the ghetto uprising. I know this one.
Shit.
I know this one. His street is where this museum is.
Are those the Jews that participated in the uprising?
Jews that have been identified and who have been proven to be a part of the Jewish fighting organization. Let's see if maybe. Yes. The most popular Jew from my city is Polin. Mark Edelman.
Fighters of the Jewish.
Let's see about maybe. Nope. Longowski is not here, thankfully. When it comes to the ghetto in Łódź, the story is much darker. We didn't really have a fighting organization there, as it was the area of the Third Reich and not the general government like it was here. And there have been talks of the head of the Łódź ghetto to be a Nazi collaborator. Potentially.
Grudnia 1940 roku. Kraków. Katowanie więźniów jest zorganizowane przez oprawców. 1940 roku. Łapanki trwają. 8 października 1942 roku. Zamojszczyzna. Zaczęło się to 27 listopada 1942 roku o godzinie 3 rano. Ogółem wysiedlono do dnia 17 grudnia ponad 40 wsi. Około 40-50 tysięcy ludzi zostało pozbawionych domów.
There's the Polish government in exile, the action one.
This is it? Exiled government. Oh my goodness.
You have here, brother.
Council's task is to aid Jews.
Area is Third Reich.
In the gray area
directly Third
is
Reich.
Soviet Union.
Directly Third Reich. This is the site of mass executions. This is where Treblinka is. And this is general government over here up until I believe here. And the occupied areas of Ukraine after German invasion of the Soviet Union. With Ukraine and I guess Lithuania? Yeah, Lithuania because there's Vilnius.
Allied powers.
And this is the closest death camp that was to my city, Kulmkov.
There's a lot of whoa. Hold on a second. Only England was the wipe. I only see England as the wipe.
Essentially, with white you have anti-Nazi coalition. These are occupied territories. The Germans have managed to conquer Netherlands, Belgium, France.
They couldn't the UK.
They never have. Denmark and
They did try in 1940.
There are also neutral states here. I can see there's Turkey,
Switzerland.
Turkey, not Switzerland, obviously. Spain, Portugal,
Sweden.
and Ireland. And look among the countries that are allied to the Nazis. You obviously have Italy,
Croatia.
fascist Italy. Croatia had Ustashi, who were also
Romania, of
fucking
course.
terrifying war criminals.
Bulgaria, I'm not
Romania
surprised
as well.
by.
Bulgaria as well. And look here,
Oh yeah.
Finland was also.
Finland was like only allied with Nazi Germany because of
Yes,
their
they were, but only because they wanted to protect themselves from the
Soviet Union.
Yeah,
The Winter War.
Soviet Union, because Soviet Union, remember that it is technically an
Yeah.
anti-Nazi,
Use-
an anti-Nazi coalition
USSR basically beat them to the punch.
in a way. It's more important that the Finnish were practically have had the Soviet. They fear the Soviet Union in a way. That is why.
Nazi.
That is why the Finnish Marshal Gustav
Nazi Germany
Gustav von
seems-
Mannerheim has sided with Hitler.
There seems to be more allies.
But I know that Finland has not taken a part in Holocaust. There has never been like.
Oh, of course not. They weren't.
There weren't any.
They weren't fascist. No.
No, they weren't. I mean, they didn't take part in Holocaust.
I was gonna say Nazi Germany had more allies than Russia of today.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Crazy.
Crazy.
It's
If I
because
remember correctly, the
lots of nations.
three countries that have been the two countries that have been the biggest allies of Nazi Germany were fascist Italy and
Japan.
Japan.
The biggest ones.
The biggest.
Additional ones are
Practically the only ones with their own sense of autonomy. The rest was just
puppets.
heavily influenced by Germans.
Hungary, Bulgaria, and Romania are additional.
Norway as well.
Oh, wait, Norway?
Norway had Vitus Kusling, who was like a puppet dictator.
I thought they destroyed Hitler's master plan
Yes,
for nuclear
later,
weapons.
later, but in the beginning there was an invasion of Norway and they did take over.
The telemarks.
The Battle of Heavy Water is much later.
That was like 43? I forgot. Let me look it up. Let's see.
These people are political prisoners. Here is a 3-year-old political
1940.
We were determined that the people of Denmark
1939 they definitely did take.
were marched 10,000
Norway.
into the camp. They saw. Most of these units yelled,
Wow. Check us out.
This is about the beginnings of the creation of the State of Israel. When you have a full context of the entire reason, the whole reasoning why State of Israel was created in the 1960s.
1948, I think, was the independence.
But it was
Current independence, anyway.
But it was in the 1960s where they had the
Six-Day War against Jordan, Egypt,
Jordan, Egypt, and Syria.
Syria.
Oh, I know these three. I think the most important one is here. Ben Gurion. More proof that Harry Truman was a fucking scumbag.
Displaced person, irrespective of their former persecution, must. You know what? I gave up. I gave up on must remain in camps.
On what?
I didn't even finish the sentence on remain in camps. Many of which are overcrowded and heavily guarded. What was he even on about?
Truman? No idea. I do know that he was a fucking madman. He's the one that conducted the nuclear strikes of Japan, so you can expect anything from that guy.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki. No,
I believe it was after he stepped down that Eisenhower became the president of America. He wasn't better, but he was still better than Truman.
Oh yeah, of course.
And here you have how Germany and Austria have been separated after the defeat of the Nazis. There was a wall over here, and there was also a wall in Berlin. Because this wall right here was impossible to cross, and nobody would bother going to Poland or Czechoslovakia to try and cross the wall here.
And then
not here.
Then they divided Berlin.
Yes, they divided Berlin because it was the capital. Yeah. And you had Eastern Berlin and Western Berlin. So people would just jump over, try to cross the Berlin Wall to find a plane in Western Berlin to finally get out of the.
Was there also a wall right there?
There was a wall here. I know that it was here.
What about Wien?
What?
What about over there?
No idea. This Vienna.
Oh, Vienna.
Vienna is Vienna. No idea, to be honest. I don't know much about Austria post-World War II. I do know that there still stands a Red Army statue in Vienna, and I have seen it.
And there's still Soviet monuments in Berlin too.
There is.
Berlin as well.
I don't know about Berlin, but still.
Well, I actually looked it up, and it's.
And I've never been in Berlin, so I cannot really tell.
I plan to go someday, maybe.
I mean, it is recommended. Always recommended to travel, no matter where.
There's so many places.
Really too many. Where is that? I think it's the Israeli problem.
Old ass TVs.
I think I can understand now. Essentially, Gomulka has delivered this speech because around that time, many of the Arabic states were actually allies to the Soviet Union.
Huh.
Gamal Abdel Nasser was an ally to the Soviet Union.
Really?
He was a friend with Khrushchev. Yeah.
That's actually.
I know it sounds like a paradox, but still.
That's the last thing I ever would expect at all. Because I thought I was hated the USSR.
There were countries that didn't like
Afghanistan.
All of the countries had in common that they didn't like Jews and they did not want the creation of Israel. And to the poor Arabic countries.
Look at all.
You know what is on this picture? So there is a
BTR.
It's an old cinema in Warsaw, Kino Moskva, and this is a photograph from 1981, after martial law has been enacted in Poland. And what movie is premiering at the
Apocalypse.
Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now.
The one that was recently remade?
Apocalypse Now was remade?
What? Not that I know of.
I do not know, but that is when the premiere was, essentially.
Huh.
The thing is, I wouldn't expect that movie to be in the Polish cinema in the 80s. Not before 1989 at least.
Not during the Warsaw Pact.
Because it is one of them. It is one of, if not the most anti-Vietnam War movie that I've ever seen. And the Soviets were.
I think I saw that one before in high
Have you
school.
seen Apocalypse Now? It is a
Possibly.
fucking hard to watch movie, really. But it is
They're
fantastic.
brutal, huh?
It is fantastic. And we return to the break area. I wonder.
remember wars, we have the revenge.
Fight the pirates in exile, fly the foreign land.
Tell the story again, tell the
110 men from Czechoslovakia in the Battle of Britain.
God in the skies of the air.
Over the battlefield, brave and long way from home. You are the chosen ones, sent to the sky to die.
It's hidden behind the trees, but I can recognize it.
Sorry if I thwarted our plans.
So big. We don't do much here anyway. This palace is mostly long-faced gardens.
At least it's in the holiday season still. In a way.
Not really a weather to just hang out at the park. Like there is someone controlling the tickets on the bus, I get kind of in a panic mode.
Right.
Zdanov is a bit of a rich it's a rich neighborhood, I would say.
There's a lot of abandoned.
What?
That's a lot of abandoned playgrounds
Yeah.
with graffiti.
Not exactly abandoned, just not being played at the moment.
We're headed towards a restaurant, right?
Yeah. We're looking just trying to pinpoint where the food is supposed to come to. Can you put away that camcorder?
I told you a story like the guy said that was here. Supposed to be able to explain to the
What is your
Put a moonshine fountain somewhere in Georgia.
Country?
Georgia.
No, I meant the country, yeah.
No, Georgia. That's the name of the country.
Oh, no, I thought you meant the state.
No. Georgia is a very underrated country. Also. Yep. I can think of more reasons to go there than to the state of Georgia.
I have yet to go. There's a lot of countries I have yet to go.
I'm sorry.
I told you what my grandpa used to do as a hobby
What?
yesterday.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, I did tell you that he was a distiller out of a hobby. It was like his own personal hobby. Once he retired from bus driving, he took up making his own alcohol, and he's still doing it to this day.
Homemade.
Yeah, it's so completely homemade.
What's up?
Kosher vodka. I gotta say, I actually thought that neither Jews nor Muslims are allowed to drink alcohol.
Guess we thought wrong. Here we are.
Or maybe the tradition changed over the years.
Isn't Iraq one of the biggest makers of alcohol?
Iraq?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Wasn't it beer then?
Arabic countries do make one alcohol out of dates, out of the date fruits, but I do not remember what it was called. But it's not like a big exporter of it, definitely isn't. Does this logo remind you of something?
Sure.
Kind of, but
Who else?
I think it was named after The Witcher, because this wolf head and.
Don't recall.
But yeah, I'm gonna take this picture for Boda to troll him tonight.
Do it. It's gonna be some funny shit, man.
My neighbor had an 18th birthday in like a wedding hall. Like it was a local for rent, but it wasn't exactly a wedding hall. And I forgot to shave, and the waiters assumed that I was 18 already, and were pouring me vodka and shit.
Really?
Never told them I was 15 at that time.
So you drunk like 3 years ahead.
And it shows, kind of explains a lot about me.
You aged a bit fast, I guess.
Perhaps so. I started. My voice mutation was quicker, and I think I also started growing facial hair much quicker.
Was your voice deep at the time too?
Yeah, I already had an adult voice
My
by
God.
that point.
Oh my god.
All of my classmates were talking in high-pitched voices, and I was already.
It's the facial hair that gets people assuming.
That too. That might be.
Potem do produkcji filmową. 1926. 1927.
Dalej zaklep.
Yes, there you go. Uwaga, uwaga.
Aim.
You can add another word.
A vodka bottle attributing an hussar?
1930.
A hussar is on a bottle?
Zdobyła pierwsze nagrody międzynarodowe.
Right there.
Must be some. Yeah, it's an export version to America.
Hey, good enough for me.
Of course. I mean, that's the closest we have to an American Eagle.
Although, I wouldn't touch it often unless if I'm socializing. Or if I don't give a shit to drive.
I mean, when it comes to Poland, you just shouldn't drink alone. That's the only rule.
I don't trust myself.
And here is a export to Venezuela in the 90s.
In the 90s, both on the USA one too.
Okay, so are you ready for the tape?
Thank you for everything.
Handshake. It was very nice to meet you, and even
Big
though
pleasure.
it has been a bit chaotic,
Oh, of
everything
course.
worked out in the end.
It exceeded my expectations, and that's what mattered.
Yes, and I hope we get to see each other more frequently.
For sure.
Poland. Maybe eventually even a whole group. Who knows?
Oh, why not? Hopefully that we get more people from our side of the community.
Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on.
I still got to go to
definitely will.
Krakow. Krakow perhaps could be next. Alright, now I gotta get to the street. I definitely owe you stuff.
Yeah, I will just message you how much your.
Thank you. Gotta get out to the street. Where's the street? We mourn the day of the... Now I gotta get out of here. I seriously gotta get out of here.